The Void, Series 1, Episode 2. Who the hell is Buck Rogers? Chapter 15. It had been a struggle, but he finally made it far enough that he could visit one of the observation decks. The moment he had stepped into the amphitheater, he was blown away. He knew he was in space, but this was the first time he truly realized it. Me? I really am in space, aren't I? Did you doubt me before? Kane asked. Of course not, it's just, it didn't feel real until this moment. How is this any more real than it was before? Kane, Carter interrupted. You're ruining the moment, mate. The gallery was encased in a dome placed at an acute angle with rows of viewing platforms above and below him. Comfortable furniture graced each tier, allowing people to watch the stars pass in luxury. He could smell something familiar and look down. He could see a small group of people. This made him smile. This far out into deep space, and there was still before him, the void, in all its majesty. It wasn't quite as colorful as he had been led to believe, but there was a stark beauty to it all that was hypnotic. The red dwarf in the center of their system glowed dimly at such a vast distance. There was some kind of gas cloud to the left of his field of vision, relatively close in the galactic neighborhood, but still light years away. The rest was inky black darkness peppered with thousands of stars. It reminded him of spending summer nights lying on the lawn with Karen and looking up at the night sky, lost in awe. But it was also different, in that he had never realized just how clear the view was outside of an atmosphere. It was like the night sky had suddenly been converted to high definition. How he wished Karen, Jacob, and Elizabeth could be here to witness this, to revel in this serene glory. If there was one thing that could quieten his family, it would be a sight to behold, and this was a sight that demanded to be beholden. Carter felt small against this vastness, but, weirdly, it did not make him feel insignificant, just humbled. For once, I think I might be out of words. The view is amazing, isn't it? You can appreciate this. Oh, yes. I track and log each star's movement as part of the navigation procedures. I can see how everything is gradually moving, all working in tandem as part of a larger mechanism. It's hard to express how I feel about it, but I'm not sure if I have the same frame of reference as yourself. Anger and joy, I understand. These emotions are more abstract, harder to define. Maybe it's your inner artist, Kane. If it is, Mr. Vincent, I would be thrilled. The AIs even have imaginations. Given enough time, yes. It can take many years, but I am hoping I can achieve it sooner given my more advanced core. I look forward to the day where I can have a proper imagination rather than a series of predictive rule sets. We can work on that. It ties in nicely with the humor anyway. Carter returned to the stars, watching them silently. He now wished he'd had the foresight to bring a couple of bottles of beer. It would have made a good compliment. He was entranced in the same way he could be if he found a good spot by a stream and would just sit there for hours listening to the stream. Kane told me you'd be here. A familiar voice came from behind. I wanted to see how far I could manage, and this place was closer than the garden. And how do you feel? No problems, I hope? Usual aches and pains, but surprisingly well, considering the distance, Carter explained. Thought I'd take it a bit slower, and I think that made a difference. Took forever to get here, though. And was it worth it? Carter cheered quietly. I think I found my new favorite place. It's glorious, isn't it? Denham observed. The wealth of possibility out there. Always something new to explore. Always some new predicament or puzzle. Always some new peril. I used to look up at the night sky with my wife and wonder. Now I realize just how crap that view was, Carter replied. This is simply astonishing. I haven't been here since I've been on board. It's a nice place, isn't it? Denham noted. I should come here more often. What's in the box? Carter noticed the small box that the doctor was carrying with him. Oh, I made a cake for you, Denham revealed. Well, not specifically for you. I made a batch of them and thought you might appreciate one. Thank you, Doctor. He opened the box, unfolding like some ornate origami. Inside was what looked like a muffin. What's it made from? Carter probed suspiciously. There are giggleberries in it. Giggleberries? Carter laughed. Who the hell named them? The bush they flower from grows a type of structure that makes a noise when the wind blows through it. It's supposed to sound like laughing, but it's quite subjective. And they do that to what? Ward off predators? I think it's a mean to discourage grazing, Denham postulated. There are interesting ways some organisms have evolved to aid their survival. Laughing bushes are relatively normal. I bet, Carter agreed. So what do they taste like? I'm not sure I have a good enough comparison for you, Mr. Vincent. Just try it and see what you think. This does count towards the bet, though, Carter pointed out. If you like, Denham smiled. Carter couldn't help but feel the doctor was playing some elaborate practical joke on him, but Denham didn't seem the type to make that many jokes. I heard you decided to go for the cultural advisor role. I'm glad you've made a decision on what to do. Me too, Carter echoed. Let me know if you need any help when studying for the role. I will, Carter nodded. You know, it seemed a bit of a weird idea to begin with, but it does seem to have grown on me. At the very least, it will give me something to do. You'll still have to address these emotional issues over time, but having a purpose is good. While we're at it, you might as well come clean about what it is about your history you're hiding from me. I'm going to need to know about all this for my interview after all. We don't hide it as such. It's just this little slice of history can be quite affecting to those put into stasis before the Great Expansion. So what is it? You remember when you were surprised that Triskel was the capital of the Republic and wondered why Earth wasn't? Carter nodded. Simply put, the Earth is dead. What? Humanity killed it a long time ago. It's just a poisonous rock now, Denham revealed. It's neutral territory, long abandoned and now worthless, so it's not even contested as nobody wants it. Carter cursed. When did that happen? Not too long after your time, really, Denham elaborated. When it became so apparent nobody could deny it any longer, there was a tremendous effort to delay the inevitable. But it was still inevitable. So what happened? Did it take hundreds of years or what? The death of the planet happened remarkably quickly. Once a certain point was reached, things started to gain momentum. It took just a couple of decades for the air to turn poisonous, Denham exposited. The time between the death of Earth and the Great Expansion was the lowest point for humanity. A population of billions dwindled to millions and then hundreds of thousands. We became very close to becoming extinct. That is appalling. You can understand why we don't like to let people know about that straight away. No, you're right, Carter conceded. That is a bit of a revelation. Carter felt light on his feet. It was devastating to learn of the death of his homeworld. Every place he'd ever been, every step he had taken, every experience he'd ever had were gone. Do you want to sit down, Carter? No. I'll be all right, he lied. With my family? Would they have been involved in it? Honestly, Carter, I couldn't tell you, Denham admitted. History gets very loose around that point, and most of what we have is filtered through the lens of a corporate standpoint. I genuinely hope they missed it. Carter silently prayed his family never got to experience that particular atrocity. It's horrific. It is, but it's also ancient history. Many people doubt it even existed. It's taken on a legendary status now. It's like some black comedy. I'll admit, it's hard to look at humanity's history and think otherwise, Denham agreed. If the population went down to thousands, how many people are there now? In the Republic alone, quintillions. How did humanity go from thousands to quintillions in 2,000 years? Do you know how much sex can be had in 2,000 years? We are prolific breeders, and that is the part of the problem. Throw in cloning, artificial wombs, genetic engineering, and you can increase the population exponentially across a few generations, Denham explained. The problem was never the capacity to propagate, but the fact we lost so much so quickly. Genetic diversity crashed, and once you get to a certain point, the population simply cannot be saved. But we survived. Just about. Now I understand why those wanted my genes so much. Diversity is essential in making any population work. The pool stagnates and you start getting ever-increasing defects. You could have told me all about this, Kane. I'm sorry, Mr. Vincent, but it was for your own good. If I didn't agree with you, I might be really pissed off right about now. Carter didn't know how to feel. He was angry despite his protestations, but he understood as well. He felt fear, too. Fear that his family didn't live much longer than he did. Damn this future. Damn every time he felt he'd started to get some semblance of stability. Something came along to shake the tree. I wouldn't blame you, Mr. Vincent, Denham absolved, but it was necessary. If we told you that immediately, could you have handled it all in one go? Truthfully, no. You're absolutely right. I'm not convinced I can handle it now. Will you be all right, Carter? To quote a very wise man, I ain't got a clue, old son. Whatever happens, Mr. Vincent, we will be there for you, Kane assured. I'm truly grateful for that, Kane. I truly am, Carter thanked. But we'll just have to see how we'll get on. Carter looked once more into the magnificent darkness, weighing up his trauma in the greater scheme of things, and wondering what the future would hold for him.